Welcome to the Straight from the Source's Mouth podcast. Frank talk about sex and dating.
Hello, everyone. Tamara here again. Welcome to the show. Today's guest is Masha Ra, and we'll be talking about love, sex, and spirituality. If you like this episode, be sure to tell your friends about it and rate it as well. Thanks for joining me, Masha.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to talk and share my knowledge, and thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. It'll be a good topic, and we haven't really covered this too much before. Maybe like early on, I had one episode a little bit about this, so I think your take on it will be a good take for it. So I want to jump right into like either how you got started in this or jump right into the love side. I know we're going to talk about the three main topics. So I'll let you start. You already want to start.
Of course. Yes. I will just share that I do a couple things within the realm of love, sex, and spirituality, and they are all interconnected. And a little bit of a background story on this. I grew up Christian, and then I had an awakening, and I got into healing work and started healing myself, healing my trauma. And then I realized that this is what I want to do and help people with. And also I had a near-death experience that opened up my psychic abilities. And after that, I was able to tap into energy of other people and know things that they haven't told me. And so with my background in Christianity, I'm coming from a kind of a progressive Christian wave, like neo-Christians, you could call that. So I was already prepared for my path that I do now since I was a little kid. Yes, of course, what I do now is prohibited in Christianity, which is okay for me now, but that was also a path for me to transition. So yeah, I'm very excited about the topic of spirituality and then relationships. I was married and then I got divorced, and the marriage was very toxic, and that kind of pushed me onto my awakening and healing path. And that's why I specialize in relationships, because I've gone through a lot in relationships and trauma and sexual trauma and a lot of things. So it's kind of finding my purpose, finding what I want to do and serve people through my own pain and through my own wound. And yeah, also I am a Russian American woman. I moved to the United States when I was 13, almost 13. So yeah, my path is kind of intertwined with relationship and mystery and spirituality. And it's something what I'm passionate about, all of those topics.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds awesome. And I think that happens a lot where you make something good out of a bad situation, and then that you want to help others not have to be in that bad situation and or get out of it sooner than you did potentially. So
yes, that's exactly what how I feel.
Yeah, great. All right. So what, do you work with clients, or what is your main stuff you share with people, or some situations you've helped with, wherever you want to start?
Yeah, so I work with clients, yes. I have a couple tools in my pocket. I do readings, I do tarot card readings, I do hypnotherapy, and I do coaching, right? But I solve issues within the realm of relationships. So if someone comes to me and they're struggling to find a partner, my job is to help them understand what is going on. And that's how I use tarot cards. I don't predict the future, but it's kind of a diagnostic tool. They come to me, it's like coming to a doctor, and the first thing you do is you diagnose, right? So with cards and with my own questions, I ask the client what's going on, and we figure out what is the root, right, of this issue. And then with hypnosis is an amazing tool where you go into trance state, and then I guide you through my voice into visualization to help you to rewrite those negative beliefs or traumas that you have experienced, to help you feel better about yourself. And my specialty, I would say, if I narrow it even more down, I help people to love and accept themselves with all of their stuff, like accepting their past, accepting their pain, releasing the pain, understanding that whatever they did that is in the past. They can forgive themselves, they can release the shame, because I grew up with this inner conflict of being Christian and then being sexually assaulted. And then I had so much shame around my sexuality. So helping people to accept their sexuality and show them that everything is okay with them wherever they are. And when that clicks, then they can start moving towards their goals. Because many times people want to have a relationship, but there is so much just stuff in the bag, like kind of emotional. And, there are many limiting ideas that most people who come to me have about themselves, about relationships, and about the world, that I'm helping them to see that and then kind of take that limiting belief and rewrite it. For example, if someone comes to me and they're looking for a husband, but they had, heartbreak in the past. So now they believe that all men cheat, for example. That's their set belief. And my goal is to first recognize that, help them find that, and then pinpoint them at that belief and say, hey, let's find people that don't cheat. So we talk about that, and I'm helping people to break out of their box, kind of go out of beyond what they are used to. Because the truth is, the world is so big, and there are so many people who have so many different beliefs. So to believe that every single man cheats, it is limiting. But I understand that because it's their experience. It might be that they keep repeating the pattern, but it's important to break the pattern and starting from breaking it within themselves in a good way, like rewriting it.
Yeah. And I can see, even if they were in a relationship, they would either start thinking they're cheating anyways, or eventually accuse them of it. And then that would cause issues,
even
if they weren't cheating.
Fulfilling prophecy, and it can be that this person's dad was cheating on their mom, and that's how they saw the world, and they were like, this is how it is in everyone. And then they grow up and they start repeating the same pattern. They don't know why. They feel like they're cursed or something like that. And it can be much more simple that it's their dad was the example, and finding that and getting rid of that, and then finding proof. Yes. So I wanted to add that it's important not only to shift those beliefs within yourself, but also look for the confirmation of a new belief in the world, because everything is possible. There are many, many people in the world with all kinds of different beliefs, and you can find the confirmation. I'm pretty sure I feel like I'm an example of that. I had to shift many beliefs about myself, and I found my people.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I remember when I first broke up with a boyfriend, basically my high school boyfriend, who also went to college for the first year. But it took me 2 years to get over him, and I was sitting on a bench and I saw this guy I'd never seen before, and I was like, oh, there are other men. It was new to me somehow, like a man I've never seen before. I was like, oh, there are more guys out here. Like I was still like, just, it took me so long to get over him. That was like a funny realization that there are other guys that I don't know yet.
And many women feel this way. And I definitely at some point felt that way, where it's like I'm so caught up in my own little world. And yes, I'm saying little, not with not being condescending, but like it's big for us. But then at the same time, it is comparing to the whole world. There is more out there for us.
Yeah, definitely. All right. And I know you talk about the spirituality side and the sex side. So which one, or love, like whatever flows next? That works for me.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to talk about the spiritual side, because many people are spiritual, and no matter what religion or spiritual path you choose, we all have the same kind of, it's very similar, right? Being spiritual means believing that there is something more than just us, right? That there is someone out there and they are either helping us or whatever you believe in. It is very it can be very helpful and very destructive at the same time. And I feel like right now I found my own path where it is helpful. Like my beliefs are helping me, they're not destroying me, they're not. But again, I've experienced where my spiritual path was causing a lot of struggle for me, because I was afraid of being punished. I was afraid of going to hell. I was afraid of so many things. Now that has been shifted, but that took a long time. So I guess applying this to relationships, when you have a set of beliefs, like spiritual beliefs, it's important to look at them in terms of are they serving you and how are they serving you, right? So you could believe that you are a part of God and all the wisdom is within you. And I believe in that all the wisdom I need, I can tap into that. And of course, I need help from the outside. We need each other, right? We are made in the world where we need each other. But I believe that there is a part of me, you can call it a soul, that knows what I need to do, that you can call it also intuition. So tapping into, when you're dating, it is important to tap into your intuition, your inner wisdom, and listen to that, because many times it is screaming like, don't date that person or date that person. But also we have other parts of ourselves, which is our mind, and our mind has our own, like its own worldview. And then we have our body and our sexual selves. So when we are looking for someone, it is important to have all those parts kind of saying, hell yes. Because when one part, your intuition, your soul says yes, but then your body says no, and then your mind says no, for example, here I would look into that, because if your intuition says yes, maybe you have a set of ideas how your lover should look like, and those ideas are stopping you from actually going and exploring this. But if your mind says yes, and you have like, this person fits into your perfect picture what a lover should look like, but then your soul and your intuition, your feelings say no, and you feel this resistance, then it's important to also look into that and not go like, listen and maybe explore, but slowly and not jumping into things. Because oftentimes there are so many pictures that we have from the movies, from TVs, from our childhood, what a person that we want should look like or behave like. But oftentimes, in my experience with my clients and also in my life, I find that it's not usually, the relationship is not like that perfect picture from the movies.
Yeah. Yeah. I talked about that in a recent episode, how, all the girls want to be princesses and find their Prince Charming, but the boys aren't out there trying to be, learn how to be Prince Charming, and all that stuff out there just makes unrealistic expectations and a lot of disappointment.
Yes, but there is definitely a part in each of us, in everything. There is a thread that we are all connected to you can call it God, goddess, universe, whatever. It's a thread that is connecting every single thing. And we all have intuition. We all have that inner knowledge that, I had an amazing relationship, and I connected with this person because one night I was sitting and I was like, okay, I need to register on this website and I need to go and search. And it was an intuitive call. It wasn't my mind. It was just like something was taking me, like this wave was, and I went and I just liked people. And then it turned out I was in an amazing relationship for 2 years because I listened. Mm-hmm. So sometimes it's like, it's not the right time to go and register to it on a dating website. So it's being attuned to that inner voice that we all have.
Yeah. I actually read an article that a friend sent about your intuition, but then there's also like your own mind telling you stuff from past trauma potentially, and you can't tell which voice you should listen to. Like, and then I also heard somewhere else that if it's hysterical, it's historical. So like if you overreact to something, that's probably something from your past that's, potentially causing you to choose it one way or the other. So that, I don't know, that seems relevant here.
Yeah, for sure. It is definitely a learning process to finding out where is my intuition and where is my trauma. And I think one of the most important things is when you turn off your mind. For example, you go run or you dance or you swim, when you allow yourself to, like, when you really stress your body out, so it doesn't, when your body is stressed in a good way, your mind is off because you're tired. And that's when your intuition starts talking. When you are exhausted and your brain is not running, it's not, showing you all different kinds of things. It's just, you're so tired that you can't think. And that's the moment where you can actually listen to your intuition.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me, it's also in the shower because like you're doing other stuff and then like all my best ideas come.
I agree. I love taking a bath. It's like when you're just, you're not involved in the world. You're kind of out of it in a good way. Then you can really tap into that voice that is sometimes very subtle.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are some ways people can notice their intuition or not, or like what?
For sure. So there are different ways, and one of them is seeing images. Some people they have very visual intuition, and they start seeing things that they might disregard they think, oh, this is just my fear, right? That's one of them. Or this is just my imagination. So I would consider looking into your images that you're getting when you are tired or before you go to sleep. That's when you're actually in hypnotic trance state before you go to sleep. So what is coming? What are you seeing? Don't disregard it, but pay attention to it. That's one way. Some people have amazing, vivid dreams, and they get messages through their dreams. I meet, because I'm in this world of like, spirituality and mysticism, I meet so many people who are not practitioners, but they're like, shh. And I ask them, have you experienced something mystical? How do you know this is your intuition? And many of them say that through my dreams. So another thing is some people, they have, they hear things. Not maybe like you're hearing me now, but it's kind of more internal. It's their own voice, or maybe there's someone else's voice. Not to take it too extreme to schizophrenia, right? Because that is when someone hears negative things. So if you hear constantly negative influence within yourself, very negative, it can be your own inner critic, or it can be, it can be more extreme. But when it's subtle, when there is like, maybe you have an idea that is like bugging you. I don't know if you've had that. Maybe you've experienced it. I mean, you are creative, you have this podcast. So it's like you have some kind of idea and it's bugging you. So that's your intuition. It's like, it's do this, or don't do this, or stop doing this, or look at me,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, quick story. I had foster kids years ago, but before that I had an apartment to rent, and this woman called about wanting to rent rooms or rent an apartment. What am I saying? I had a house. I was renting it out, and she called. And then for some reason, I kept thinking about her. And then it was her kids that I ended up fostering. Like for some reason, we were sisters or something. Yeah. Like I could not get her out of my mind, and I was going to buy a house and let her rent it from me just because it wasn't big enough, my original one.
Wow.
So, yeah, I've definitely had stuff like that.
So that is, it's like, it's something is like, pay attention, or this person's name. Yeah, it actually happens with me, where sometimes I feel obsessed in a way. It's like I start obsessing over something. And then instead of judging yourself, you can look at it and say, hey, what is here? What is going on? Especially us women. We have a unique connection to spiritual world because we have the ability to bring people through our bodies, even if you can't have kids. There is that channel that is connecting us. I mean, we bleed, and that is a miracle. That is so definitely. Everyone has intuition. Just for some people, it's more. They just disregard it, don't look at it, ignore it. And find your way. How I'm talking to people who are listening to us, right? Is finding your way, how you get messages and how your intuition talks to you.
Yeah. Like if you, like you're saying when you meet someone new, like what are ways that you can be like, okay, well, I guess you kind of did say it, but,
I can talk more about it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's in the dating world, or like, how can you recognize it?
For example, let's say this is a first date, and you're coming on like to a date, and you can for a moment just tap into your body and see how your body feels, and see how your like sexual center, your genitals, whatever gender you are, how they feel. Do you feel relaxed? Do you feel safe, or you feel anxiety? And that's not enough it's not enough information, right? This is just one thing. It's really feeling how your body feels, because your body might have traumas from other relationships, and that this is just this is triggering in a way. So, but this is important, because many times, again, why people get into relationships that are unhealthy, because they ignore the signs and the intuitive signs. So first one is your body. If you are in touch with your body, if you know how to listen to it, you will feel how this person is how your body is reacting to this person. Do you want to shrink or like close off, or you want to relax? So that's one. Then the other one is when the other person is, you can ask questions, obviously, right? But questions that are really, before the date, it's important to identify what are the most important things for you. And then when you hear them talk, you not only listen to their words, but you're also listening, you're kind of taking in their vibration. In a way, when you listen to music, when you start a song, in a few seconds, you will figure out whether you want to continue listening to the song, right?
Yeah.
So there is wisdom within us that can tap, like if you learn how to tap into it, and it's a process. But then when the other person speaks, again, go back to yourself. Like it's a process of listening and going back to yourself and seeing how you're reacting. Do you feel safe? Do you feel happy? What kind of emotions this person is triggering within you? Is this anxiety? Is this joy? And where are those feelings? Is this your gut? Is this your genitals? Is this your heart? Is this your head? So I think, my main point is self-awareness, really. When you go on a date and you connect with someone, being aware and constantly going back to yourself for a moment and acknowledging, this is what I feel, this is what I don't feel. And I believe you can identify whether this is a good match in maybe 3 days, 3 dates, I mean.
Yeah, that's what they say, because a lot of people give up after 1 or 2. But a lot of people do recommend like at least 3 to really see if there's something there or not.
Yeah, because it will unfold. 1 date is just, I feel like it's not enough, because again, it's a process, it's a process of really getting comfortable with someone new. And for some people it's easier, some people it takes longer. And yeah, at least 3 dates.
Yeah. I did want to say, let you provide how people can reach you if they want to work with you.
Yes. So my website is lovesexspirituality.com, and you can come and get a free strategy session where we will look at your situation and I will give you my, help and tools, what you can do. And if you feel like working with me, I'm open. And if not, also, I'm happy to provide help. Yeah, and also my Instagram is dating authentically, dating.authentically.
Okay, awesome. And I know you said kind of like a final thought a little bit ago, but if you have kind of one last final parting thoughts you want to share with our listeners.
Yeah. Well, I guess would be that you know what is right for you. You know who is right for you. There is that wisdom within you, and just tap into that. When you date, learn how to tap into that. It's a process. It might not be right away, but it's possible. It's possible to have the answers within you.
Yeah, I saw something on Facebook about I won't get it right, but it was something like, "Don't worry, guys. If she likes you enough, she'll lie to herself about it." Women can talk themselves into people liking them more, or because you like them so much, you kind of assume it's back. So yeah, I get what you're saying is kind of the opposite of that, and I think
it's about being authentic. And first of all, what is being authentic is being honest with yourself and honest with the other person.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it helps, well, if you are single, to date a lot, like versus, just going one at a time. I think it's helpful to date a few at a time. I don't know if you have thoughts on that, but to me, then you're comparing and contrasting what you like and don't like a lot easier and quicker, and then get to like kind of knowing exactly what you do like and want.
For sure. I mean, it's like when you are, especially if you're just starting out, if you don't have a lot of experience dating, maybe you got married earlier, you were married for a long time and you got divorced and you've been with this one person for a long time. So it's important to go out there, yes, and date and try and talk to all kinds of people to see what is right for you. Because until you try, how do you know?
Yeah. And I know I've started ending it and then kept going. So I will now say, if you like this episode, be sure to tell your friends about it. And thank you once again, Masha, for being on.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, everyone. Thanks.
Frank Talk, Sex and Dating educates.